Ooh,
We live. What's
I
going
see it
on?
says live.
Yes, sir.
I got myself live on TikTok over here too, so we're gonna have some questions from over there probably.
Nice,
But
nice. Let me
man,
give me one quick second here. Let me just put this on Do Not Disturb. So I want to make
okay,
sure nobody's interrupting me. All right, cool. We're
I
good.
need to do that too. Where's my phone? I'm going crazy here.
All
Here
right.
we go again.
There, man. I'll get there, man. Uh, so, man, appreciate you first off, Patrick,
No
for coming
problem, man.
out, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And we just gonna get going, man.
Let's do it.
Can we get a little history though? You know, we got to go back to that history path.
Yeah. My history, or you want Caesar history? Which one? Or both?
A little bit of both.
Both in
Okay.
there.
It's simple enough. I'll give you my history. I was in the mortgage business for 7 years. This is my right home to mom story. But I was in the mortgage business for 7+ years. I was getting burnt out. My wife at the time was a crafter, stay-at-home mom and crafter, and she started a little business of her own that she was very proud of and happy. And she was going on a girls' night one night. And she said, "Hey, I need you to push this button. I need you to do this thing called weeding. And then that's all I want you to do. Don't touch anything else." And I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I royally screwed up the first one, bad, like really, really bad. And I somehow figured out how to cut a second one and get the weeding done and application process done after watching a bunch of YouTube videos and how-tos. Cause I was like, okay, I screwed up the first one. So now I got to like make it right for the second one. And I got to go through the whole process. So I was able to accomplish that. And the rest was history. The next day, that thing was mine. And, we had always used Caesar products. And we had always used the brand of HTV, so we were already committed to it. And then my wife had kind of presented, "Hey, that Caesar," to which I said, "Well, they're an Italian company, so if they're an Italian company, how are we supposed to do that? We live in Michigan. They're in Italy."
Right.
And she was like, "No, they have the North America location like 15 minutes from our house." And so I did an interview, not really thinking much of it. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to get out of the business and get into something that, allowed me to be creative. But it wasn't until I like got in and did, because I interviewed with pretty much every manager that was available at the time. I mean, I did multiple interviews, and it was kind of not uncommon, but it's not something that we do very often. So, for me, I think understanding how much time was already invested in me before I even really started, and just having conversations with me as a human being, and just in the interview process, kind of bought me in to the message and bought me into the company. And then shortly thereafter, when I started, I was basically given a blueprint of like, hey, this is how you be successful in this industry, and this is how you're successful here. Especially, and that was getting involved in every piece of the business, whether it was from sales. I've been lucky enough in my career here so far to do some video content. If it was helping out advertising and distribution, pack up a trade show, or helping customer service field a few phone calls, or helping with support to talk to a customer, or as of recently, creating equipment and software for the industry, it was do and try everything. And it's funny because I was just talking to Andrew about this in the car on the way here. It was taught to me of ask for forgiveness kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And if you ask for forgiveness through that, sometimes you can find the most creative ideals that people have out there, because you're just taking a chance. You're just swinging the bat, man. And if you make contact, it could be a simple, single base run. It could be a triple, a double. It could be a home run. You never really know. But if you don't actually take the chance, then there's no point. So that's really helped me with the blueprint of being here and being successful here. Now, with that said, that's kind of my history. The company history is pretty simple.
Hold on before you go into that. I want to put this out there. So I'm live on TikTok over here. TikTokers, man, we on YouTube. Squad Creative Podcast on YouTube. We are interviewing Patrick Ali from Caesar North America. If you have any questions about that, man, tap them in. Come over to YouTube, Squad Creative Podcast on YouTube. And then I just want to let the record reflect on this Caesar, though, right? Mm-hmm. It's Caesar, not Sizer, right?
It's Caesar, yes. Caesar, Caesar, yes, like the salad. And some of the company history will kind of take you down that step. So the name Caesar is actually the combination of two names. It was Simona and Sergio. So 2 letters from one name, 3 letters from the other makes up the name of Caesar. But yeah, our company's been around for a long time in the industry, manufacturing in different facets, and creating our own products and things of that nature. But as of recently, we've kind of not redefined the way that we do things at Caesar, but Caesar's been around for about 15 years or so in the States specifically. In the US, but we've definitely made strides. We're not only in distribution, so we have distributors and resellers where you can buy sheets and rolls and equipment and all of that. And also it's a great extension of our support, and why we value those distributors so much and resellers is they're that extension of our support team too, because a lot of them are crafters. A lot of them know what they're doing with this stuff every single day. And they're really the front lines for us, which is really how we grew, I think, so quickly. And we've made such a statement in the industry. But outside of that, we also are in retail as well, and Michael's and Joann's and Walmart. And, soon there'll be some more coming out. But yeah, we're everywhere.
So what do you think? So this is a live, man, but and eventually we'll fall off of this whole questioning thing, people. But I got a lot of questions for you. What do you think it is that made Caesar such a household name? Because in this industry, you hear Caesar as vinyl, and you hear Cricket as a vinyl cutter. What do you think? What did that?
I think what it was not only our visibility to the marketplace, meaning that we did every trade show. You guys have seen me in multiple facets already in trade show environments and stuff. But we're at every show. We're involved in anything that we potentially can be involved with to show genuine support. And I think that's where there's a clear fork in the road for a lot of people. There's supporting people, and then there's genuinely supporting people without any thought of return on investment. The return on investment thing goes out the door when we talk about education and training. It's more of a value for me, and especially the trade show event that we're doing tomorrow, just to plug it really quick. It's in Grand Rapids, the One Stop Expo 2023. It's at the DeVos Place Convention Center here in downtown Grand Rapids. But with that, even what I'm going to go and do tomorrow, it's about the teaching, the education, and then the long-term relationship for us. I'm not unaccessible, right, as a human being. And it doesn't matter. Like, Mike and I talked last night, and he's like, hey, can we get you on? I know it's a last minute thing, but can we pop on? And it's like, yeah, for sure I can come on. And it's a lot of that is about that extension of the relationship that has to continue to marinate too, because 9 times out of 10, a customer coming up to you for the first time in the booth, you've never met them, there's automatically this wall up, and there's a wall up because of 2 reasons. There's number one is that they have a product that they like and they prefer over yours. So they want a reason. Thanks, Sonia. There's 2 reasons why there's that wall up. Number one, they have a product that they stand by. And again, everybody has products, whether you're Cricut, whether you're Econo Transfer, whether you're like Wallet Cut or specialty materials. There's a place for all of us here in this business. But one thing that we strive to do is we strive to make sure that you know who we are, and you also are directed to the right places that you need to go. So if it is a support question, you're going to talk to Pam, Tracy, or Carolyn. Those are actual people that you'll call in and talk to. If it's a video or a collaborative thing, you're going to talk to myself or Anna or Maya on the marketing team. And nobody is non-accessible at our company. So that was number one. But anyways, I think people, their thoughts of their HTV is the best. So they're not okay with hearing what you have to say regardless, is one reason their wall is up. The other is just confidence and lack of knowledge. And that's the most important one to me. Having somebody come and say, okay, the product I use is superior because of X, Y, and Z. That's okay to me, because at the end of the day, we're here to make quality products, just like what you're using, I'm sure, is a quality product. So there's no harm, no foul on my part. What my mind goes to is the person that comes up to the booth and is hesitant and tense to ask questions because they've never been presented an opportunity to ask questions, especially directly from the manufacturer. A lot of people go the influencer route, where they're like, the influencer is going to be the one to get our message out. I believe the influencer, or as I like to say, the maker or creator, in my opinion, is the person that values the company and wants to promote the company, regardless if there's paid or unpaid. I don't think that, at least I would hope that many influencers aren't getting paid to promote products they don't believe in.
Right.
So that's one element of it. The other element is just being accessible and able to call me up, text me, IM me, DM me on IG. That's why I put my Instagram handle on everything, is you can reach out to me on multiple platforms and expect a response, and a valuable response, because everybody at Caesar, whether you're, the top of the company, at the very tip top, or you're a janitor, right? Everybody has an opportunity to collaborate, and everybody has an opportunity to say how they feel and fix designs and things of that nature, to just help with the betterment and the progression of the company.
Yeah, man.
It's a very long-winded way of answering, but you know me, I'm a run-on sentence.
It's all good. Let's shout out a couple of these people before we go on, man. Sonia Siegler, appreciate you. Thank you. How you been? Marlon Dews, what's happening? Peace, love, and positive energy to you too,
appreciate
brother.
Y'all tapping in. Thank you.
Ginger Snap, what's going on? Facebook user, I don't know who you are because you didn't sign in over there, but thank you.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. Appreciate y'all. So,
hold on, for you ask your question, sir. Let me tap in. Right, you get killing me, literally. What's your favorite job or favorite part of what you do? Because you've been doing so many different roles.
Yeah, for real.
What is the?
Yeah. Okay. So this is I'm going to shorten this one up because there's a long explanation for this. For me, I'm naturally a fixer in my brain. I'm naturally an educator and a teacher, and I'm very calm, cool, and collected under chaos in chaotic environments. So I really value that part of my personality. So I think that's led me to being one of the favorite is probably the cutter for me, the cutter in software, and being a part of the development, being a part of the manufacturing process, every part I had an opportunity to touch.
Let's talk about that though.
Yeah. So we, about a year and a half ago, or a little over a year and a half ago, myself, and three others in the office, Keith, Dave, and Maya, sat down with Johan, who runs our company, runs Caesar North America, sat down, and we had this idea to, we've always had the idea to come out with our own equipment. And eventually that was going to be, the next trajectory. That's going to be the next trajectory for our company naturally. But I think there was always a fear of, can we do it? And, the four of us plus Johan sat down, and Johan had this idea for this piece of equipment and said, hey, I think this is something that we're capable of accomplishing, and let's figure out how. And so, we met with some folks in the industry and tried to get an understanding of what even made sense with this cutter. And we all met ourselves because, when you're at Caesar, there's one piece of the puzzle that a lot of folks miss, okay, is that the people that are just in sales or just in marketing or just in customer service, if they're not creative as well, then everything crumbles. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in sales, you have to sell creatively, because sometimes people don't like what easy weed feels like or what stretch might feel like. So you have to get creative on showing people what you can do. But that extends from every piece of our company. So when we sat down with the cutter, we really took it seriously, and we said, what are the flaws that the industry is offering right now? We have some cutters out there that are really good at software, and then we have some cutters that are out there that are really good with the machine. But the problem is there's no happy medium between the two. And this is coming from the standpoint of a user. I was a Cricut user. I mean, I can't say that I'm not a Cricut user anymore. I think that's anybody that says I used to be, it's, in my opinion, we're on a live. It's kind of bullshit, in my opinion. You're a creative. If you're a creator, it doesn't matter what piece of equipment or what type of vinyl or whatever it is. You're just creating because you love to do it. I think for us, the most important factor was, how do we bridge the gap between the design software and the cutter and offer it to the community as something that they can grow with? Not just, hey, we're already 10 years ahead in software and cutter development, and you're a brand new user walking into the door for the first time. How do we capture that audience? Because for me, that audience, you can learn bad habits very, very quickly just by not having the right type of education and the right type of materials and the right type of equipment. So if we were able to offer something that could accomplish that, which I think we did, that was going to give the industry a lot better opportunity to go from that everyday consumer, to elevate them to that prosumer level.
So what's the difference between the Romeo and the Juliet? I feel like every time I say it, I want to sing it. Yeah. What's the difference between the Romeo and the Juliet?
So the Romeo, let's start with the Juliet. The Juliet is a 12-inch high definition cutter. The actual head of the machine cuts at 24 inches per second running, and just standard running time on the head itself cuts at 27 inches per second. So it's a fast machine. It's a super quiet machine as well, which I love. And, one of really my only claims to fame, and I know that I stay very humble, just like our team does in the whole development. But one of the things that I was able to offer for the cutter is that the head of our machine, much like a traditional cutter where the head just moves within this space of the machine, ours actually houses itself in the machine itself. So instead of, we call it a 12-inch cutter, but it actually cuts 13.5 inches from edge to edge on the machine. The Romeo itself, and I'll get into the technical behind it, but the Romeo itself is a 24-inch model, but because of that same head motion and housing, we can cut about 25.5 across the entire platen of the cutter. And both of them are just as fast. And the main thing that I like about both machines is our user interface. Originally we were going to go with a touch panel, much like you see on some of the older Cameos. Then we thought about maybe something more like a dial or easy switches like the Cricket had. But I think we all sat around and were like, we need full customization. We need to be able to do whatever we want with this machine. And that only works if we have that LCD screen and that digitizer. So the user interface on every page pretty much has a test cut button, because we're big on make sure you're test cutting your material. And like everything in Caesar, it's a little t-shirt because it's Caesar, right? We got to make t-shirts. But with that said, it was able to feed with a mat or without a mat, both machines. Pretty soon we'll have a stand that's coming out. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, so that's an exclusive here.
So look,
listen, I'm just giving you a ton of stuff you can tag after. I'm trying to get views, trying to get it. So, but with that said, both cutters I think offer a great balance between really artistic looking, and they look like a piece of a cool piece of artwork, like a little speaker or a vinyl roll, all the way to offering the ability in a high production shop environment, they can hold up and hold their own against anything that's out there. So it's really nice for us, and I'm really proud of the team that we have, even with Leonardo Design Studio. What you see in the software is Maya, who's my boss now, that runs our marketing team. That's her original design. So we didn't veer off of what she originally had. Icons didn't change, nothing. And she's redesigning software on a rapid rate. But again, that goes back to, we are all involved in the process. And when you're not involved in the process, you can't educate and you can't teach the process, because you're not learning it for yourself to the point that it's second nature. I mean, guys, I think I've told you this before, Mike, but we had a 2-hour conversation about the way that the power button operates, because that's how much it mattered. It mattered if we got into the war room and we yelled and screamed at each other for a little bit, and we figured out this happy medium, because now we have this perfect balance of elegance and performance and speed and quiet and all these other elements that I think people were looking for. We were able to wrap that up in a nice, pretty bow, which has been good. I'm really proud of our team for that.
Yeah, man. So there's a camera in there, correct?
There is. So that's one of the big benefits to the machine itself, is that we don't have optical eye. We don't have registration lasers or sensors. It's an actual camera. When you're registering a print and cut job, you're registering through an actual camera in the cutter. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's allowed us that accuracy too. I mean, we have, as far as I know right now, out of the box, probably the best accuracy that you have in the industry. And I'm okay with saying that.
Why was y'all, what made y'all scared? Or what made you a little bit delayed in actually putting the product out? You have Caesar vinyl.
I think that's a great question. And I think that's a question we all ask ourselves internally a lot, of like, why did we take so long? And I can just say, just like I told you guys right before this on a subject, we were talking about time. Sometimes everything's about timing. We hit a stride right post-pandemic. And that's another thing that I don't think a lot of people realize in manufacturing, is that what you guys see, the product that you see today is not the product that we started with. It's not the system that we started with. It's the same makeup, it's the same design, it's the same features and functions, but the ideology behind the equipment and behind the software definitely have changed a couple of times based on what we found in the market. And so manufacturing something post-pandemic was really, really difficult. Cost of containers and shipping and all of that stuff went up. You know, we wanted to offer a product at the time that we opened up. We wanted to offer a product that was also cost effective and accessible for the type of production quality that you can get out of it. And I think, you know, being that the Juliet at a $499 price point and then the Romeo being able to do the same thing that a lot of the commercial machines out there do today. And I would say even to an extent, a little bit more so what the freedom you have, being able to offer that at a $699 price point instead of $2,400. I mean, for us, it was just, it was like, it made sense, but we knew we were taking a risk because with that, a lot of people got into the DTF world during the pandemic and a little bit towards the end of the pandemic. And DTF, POD, I'm going to tell everybody out there right from the horse's mouth, DTF, DTG, any POD, which is paid on, process on demand, any type of things that are like that, they're great additions to our business. They make sense. Right. They make a ton of sense to do. And I love the fact that there are more convenient and simplistic ways of creating. And if you're not somebody that's a maker, but you're a designer, that's a great platform for you to be able to, like actually go and produce something really good quality. However, I think that vinyl kind of lost its way a little bit in the world during the pandemic because there was a convenience of doing all of these print on demand type things. And now people are starting to get back into it. But what happened was a lot of people put a lot of money and investment into DTF and DTG and stuff like that. And they put less money into the vinyl side of things. And now we're starting to see an evening of the playing field as there's companies out there that do DTF really, really well. And then there's companies out there that don't do so well. And it's okay. I mean, right, there's places for everybody in the industry. However, I think that some people that decided to go, not say the cheaper route, but for some of the cheaper equipment, it would clog really easily. You have to maintenance them regularly. You got to constantly run prints through them. But like that education portion wasn't out there. So then some people can get lost. And now you basically have a $15,000 paperweight sitting in your room. Not to say that that's everybody's case, but It's just we found this little bit of a shift. So again, for the sales of the cutter and people registering accounts and becoming new creators and also elevating their current production environment, the cutters have been a great addition to it and a great addition in the industry. And I think the software, as we grow, and that's another portion of that, right? The software is still very young. It's very new. So as we grow and adapt, we just took the stance of listening to the audience. We want the audience to tell us, hey, we want a layers panel. Okay, then you have a layers panel. We added that in. We want the ability to snap our rulers on the page wherever we want. Well, now you have the ability to do that. And I'll plug this here because nobody has officially said this publicly yet on any platform. Even myself and my own platforms, on our own platforms, I haven't said this, but like we'll have in the new software, we'll have multi-document support. So you can open up multiple pages within your design software. That's something that everybody in the industry was like, we create a lot of artwork. We need a way to be able to create that in multiple facets, right? So, those are little things that we want to add for the future. And actually that will be coming into an update that's being beta tested right now. But we're updating frequently. And that's the thing is I think the people that have been very patient with us, just to plug a couple is like Ellie Mae Habits, Courtney Brinkner, Mama Bear K, they have been advocates for us. Libby Ashcroft, Stephanie Young, who works for us, but a great advocate and educator on the equipment and software. I mean, these folks have really taken a big leap of faith with us. And I'm really happy that they did because we're getting to see all the really cool things that we got to create. And it was a lot of time, energy, and effort spent doing that, and we're just happy to bring something to the market that hopefully is the next thing that people get excited about when they're creating again.
Yeah, man. Yeah. When I grow up, I'm gonna give myself one. These sounds like the machine sounds amazing, the software sounds amazing. I've heard nothing but good.
Did you see it in person yet?
No, I haven't.
We got to get you to a show, man. We got to get you to a show to see it.
Yeah. So
hold on, see, say what's on your chest. What you wearing, bro? What you got on?
Who, me? Or Seak?
Also, your dreams don't require a pillow, man. 12goneapparel.com. Go get you one, man.
I like that. I can say that one is literally hot off the press, people. Literally hot off the press.
But yeah, so man, what other so I want to talk about this DTF, man, this DTG and all this stuff. I want to get a little deeper with that. Like, so everybody's like, vinyl's gonna die, vinyl's dead, and then you got all these people with these home DTF machines that they're bashing vinyl. You don't know more weed and all this, but they're selling these pre-made designs. Man, how do you feel about that as a vinyl user and seller and distributor?
Yeah, it's funny because I think a lot of people expect my answer to be very anti-DTF. And, you know, I very much, like I said before, I think that there's a place for it. And I think that there's a place for vinyl, and I think that there's a place for screen print. You know, and there's people that have mended those worlds very nicely. So a perfect example, like Jennifer Sanderson of Pigskins and Pigtails has figured out a way to use adhesive vinyl as her transfer as opposed to emulsion with screen print. And that's what she's been able to sell and do an incredible job at educating. I'm actually getting a chance to do an event with her and Ryan from Ryanette at the Made Lab pretty soon. But, you know, I think for me, it's like creativity comes in, you know, is all based on the person. If you have somebody that just truly is not a creator, a maker, they're not going to spend the time to weed, especially if you have multiple cavities and things like that, that you just, it is painstaking sometimes, right? But then there's this whole other spectrum of people like myself who find it very therapeutic. And I find a lot of value in being a part of the entire process. And also I can control my quality. You know, I think one piece of the puzzle that we're missing when it comes to heat transfer vinyl, and I think a lot of people don't even really know much about, is that CPSIA compliance. Do you guys know what that is?
CPSI compliance.
I do.
CPSIA compliance. So CPSIA compliance is something that is a little shield that we put on all of our products, I think, other than one. And what the CPSIA is, the Consumer Product Improvement, or CPS is a Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act. So it was something that was established in 2008, I want to say, somewhere around there. Which basically was a way to gauge what the chemical balances and imbalances were for products that were deemed child safe for kids between the ages of like 0 and 12 or 0 and 14. So with that said, that CPSIA compliance is something that for our product, we can back to say that the stuff that you're putting on your chest or the stuff that you're heating up at a high temperature and putting on your chest is non-toxic to you, or the levels of potential toxins are so low that we pass California Prop 65, we pass CPSIA compliance, and we rarely push a product out that doesn't have those tags. And if they don't pass our standard wash test that we do at work, which is very, very aggressive, and it doesn't pass that CPS or that or CPSIA or that Prop 65, we have a real serious conversation about, does this product make sense for us to even carry? You know, and that's the best part about it, right? Is that not only are you certifying your product, but you're now in a different world where, you know, we're talking about whether it's safe or not. And again, that's not to say that DTF or DTG or any of these other technologies are not safe. I don't want to cast stones on anybody, but I know the value of my product, and I know the certifications and the stringent testing that it has to pass to make sure that it works every time. And we're very confident in that. So I think that that's really my only argument, if any, about any type of DTF, is that if you have an order that's, you know, 50 shirts or above, yeah, my opinion, I'd probably be going to DTF too. I have a company that I use for my transfers when I need them, you know, if I'm doing larger orders. But I also find a lot of value in being a part of the creative process. Perfect example, Mama Bear K was just in our office. We had some influencers in a couple weeks back, and she was telling us, I mean, she's processing upwards, you know, over 700 and 800 orders, you know, pretty regularly. And she's doing it with vinyl. Now she has some screen print that she adds in there, But she was also very honest about that part of like, hey, when I have certain things, I need screen print for them, but I can't get screen print quality, or I can't get HTV quality all the time out of a transfer or a DTF, because there's just things like holographic, brick, consistency in flock, and those types of materials, glitter. Those are sometimes hard to replicate through that process unless you're willing to put in so much time, energy, and effort. Now, the other portion of that is there are other solutions out there that could benefit you, aside from DTF, if you are a maker and a creator, but still still love the fact that you're a maker creator, but need to do a high volume. We have a product that we launched last year called DTV, direct to vinyl, and it's a pigment based ink, so it works in a regular desktop printer. And you're able to print a design. And this is not like the stuff you used to buy, off the shelf at Walmart when we were kids, and it was just an actual paper. Like, this is a real vinyl, great elasticity, great amount of, color gradient. It's a really great product. As of right now, I can run design through Leonardo, through a regular printer on DTV, and then weed and apply it in less than 1 minute and 40 seconds. Yeah. So unless you can find me a technology that can do that quick, not, when we talk about these technologies, we're not talking about the time too. And again, yes, it's automated. Yes, you don't have to weed. Yes, they're full color prints, but there's a lot of inconsistencies as well. And so, that's the only thing that I can say. I don't ever want to bash anyone. I can talk about the consistency of my product and how the value of it without right. the DTF, but I can also talk about the value of having it. That's how people did. Yeah, thank you so much. But that's how for so long we were able to stay relevant, right? Because we offered a solution that either people couldn't replicate, and or we were educating so much on it at the time that you didn't want to go away from us. Yeah, or I don't want to say us. You didn't want to go away from vinyl, because there was a lot more education out there, at the time. But again,
I can't. You see me, vinyl. I ain't leaving it alone at all.
Yeah. But again, sometimes it makes sense to go with a supercolor transfer, right? Like it is what it is. And anybody in the industry that'll tell you, whether you're a competitor or not of their company, if they want to bash the company, then have something to back it up. If they want to bash a particular company against their product, like, have something to back it up. In my opinion, there's room for every single person. There's room for everybody. It's just what decoration methods make the most sense for certain people. So.
Yeah, man. So I like that you said for people that want to bash companies, have something to back it up, because you see a lot of that. Mm-hmm. Like, and I think it goes back to the influencer. Yeah. And at the end of the day, us as influencers and different stuff, it's our opinions.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
So
that's it. I can't be mad at you if I send you a Romeo and you tell me you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be mad at that. I have to take a chance and be comfortable with whatever outcome. I think what we do differently, especially when it came to this cutter project, because this is really like my big, I put my name on something project that I've been able, right. My first one I got to do at Caesar. So, with the cutter project itself, I remember a really early on, a couple people called me like the cameo killer and the cricket killer and all this stuff. And I was like, that's not what we're trying to get out there. That's not the point of this.
Right.
The point of having the cutter was to bridge the gap between productivity, design, and being able to push the limits of equipment and materials. That was the point of this whole project. And then also to have a story, to kind of go off of as well. And the Romeo and Juliet mixed with Leonardo and our Italian theme. I mean, everything. If you ever watched the launch video that we did back in September, it's on our YouTube channel, at Caesar North America on YouTube. But, that video, there was a lot of elements in there that attribute to the Colosseum and to the tower that Juliet stood on. And we really wanted to tie that in with some messaging, because I think that that's one thing that companies that market well do, is they tie in the why behind a product. It's not just that this is a vinyl cutter. It's what this vinyl cutter can do. I'll tell you guys, and I think I said this on the first episode that we did, is that, there was a lot of times that I didn't have money to pay for my kids. I didn't have money for diapers or for food, but I knew, at the time, again, I'm very honest about what I used. I was a Caesar user before I ever started with Caesar. But I knew that I could run to Michael's. I could grab some Caesar or the Craft Hut down the road from my house, grab a couple rolls of vinyl, flip a t-shirt, and make sure that my kids had formula or had diapers, or that our family was taken care of in hard times. And my wife had very much the same entrepreneurial mentality as well. So that's what it did for me. That was my story. That's the reason I have this attachment to heat transfer vinyl, and why it's so important to me is because it literally paid during the pandemic. We had one gentleman that bought like a shirt for his wife who was a nurse, and my wife had the idea, why don't we grab, 50 or 60 sheets of vinyl, throw 4 designs on each, just like the All Heroes Don't Wear Capes with a RN stethoscope, like everybody was kind of doing at the time. But she hopped on the trend and she's like, let's just donate them to the guy and see if it does anything. And we got letters and we got phone calls and we got IMs on Facebook and people that engaged with us that were just very thankful that we were able to do that. And it was what meant the most about that process is I made it. My wife made it. Our hands created it. And that's why I'm so passionate about heat transfer vinyl and the benefits of heat transfer vinyls, because, I made that with my own hands to protect and provide for my family at one point in time when I needed it. So I wanted to be able to do that for others as well.
That's something that the survival part of it is something that we lack.
Yeah.
A lot of people just jump in but they've never had to survive. Like, I must compare it to a street pass of mine, but like just trying to get out here and go t-shirt for t-shirt is like drug dealing, man. You trying to go rock for rock because you got to eat. You know what I mean? It's the same difference, just a different product.
Yeah.
And it makes you appreciate it a heck of a lot more,
Yeah.
We got a question for you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go for it.
Elevated Apparel.
Did it go away? I saw part of it. How the Romeo matte holder compared to the Cameo. Okay, so you're talking about how's the Romeo compared to the Cameo Pro?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a couple of things right off the bat. Your Cameos typically go anywhere. So from Cricut and Cameo, like your standard, I'll just say craft cutters in general. I don't want to generalize anybody, but your standard craft cutters cut anywhere from like 9 to 11 inches per second. Ours almost triples that at 24 inches per second at cutting speed.
Wow.
So it's definitely faster. I will say the one thing that people talk about the most is the noise. Our machine is virtually, quiet. Like there really isn't a lot of noise. If you bring the motor past, like it goes from 1 to 10 or 1 to 13 or 14. If you bring it down past like 5, you'll have like a little bit of a robotic sound to it. But it's nothing that's unmanageable. So I think the noise itself is a big part of that. I think early on when we did a decibel test, the actual cutter itself was at 78 decibels that it registered, but the actual room noise, that means a static room noise with nothing moving, no cutter on, was already at like 48 decibels. So it's super quiet. It's a great looking machine, but it also gives you a lot of freedom. We're not stuck in between pinch rollers or to a specific sensor on the machine. You put a piece of material on, you put that blade head wherever you want, knowing that the bottom left corner is your origin. So much like your Roland, your Roland machine is very much bottom left origin of your machine, but you can also cut outside of the pinch roller. So let's say that a piece of vinyl is sitting on your Romeo and you have vinyl hanging off the edge. You still can go to edge on that with freedom. Our camera itself, again, we have a full camera or an actual camera that's placed inside the cutter for print and cut registration. And that's why we're right now, our print and cut registration is marked at like 0.001 millimeter is our precision right out of the box. So everything's pre-calibrated. And our software is just simplistic. It's simplistic enough that if you want to just bring in an SVG or a PNG or a JPEG, you can. But we also have a full library of actual designs. And what I mean by actual designs, a lot of these companies, a lot of companies will have very clip arty looking designs. We have from basic artwork, which is your clip arty stuff, to exactly what Andrew's actually doing right across the room from me right now, is designing more artwork for Inside Leonardo. So currently to date, we have, Andrew, what do we have? Like 1,500 designs?
We're at 3,000.
Okay, so right now I just got from the graphic designer who is literally designing artwork every day. We have 3,000 pieces of artwork that's actually preloaded in the design library. But here's the best part is that's 100% commercial free. So you can use those for your business if you want.
So I'm feeling kind of jealous. I'm looking, I got these 2 cameos. I'm thinking about putting these on Marketplace or something.
Listen, and listen, at the end of the day, here's the thing. I will say the Cameo is a great machine as well in its own right. Software is good. I don't have a problem with that. The business edition is what everybody talks about. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people talk about subscription-based versus non-subscription-based models and all of these other things. I can tell you that whatever we decide to do here in the next couple of months, which will be when our next big update will come for Leonardo, we are always going to remain in the basic version, growing, and not only growing. And I don't want to bullshit people and say that we're going to grow in just artwork. Our artwork isn't the only thing that's going to grow. Our features, our design tools, our platform is going to continue to move. And then I got to get one. Nice. Go get one. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, man. Look, I'm telling you, I got 2 of them right here.
Listen,
right here under my desk is 2 of them.
It's one of those things, it's just I can tell you whatever we're gonna do next, and I'm saying that knowing what we're doing very soon. I think that we're gonna have a pretty cool software, and I think that it's gonna be something that's gonna benefit a lot of people. And we're going to not only have design features that change, but we want business opportunities, because I think the only way that we value our work properly is if we have the convenience of automation in certain aspects. And one of the hardest things for a brand new person and brand new entrepreneur and business owner, hustler, whatever it is, or however you define it, is the valuing your own work and valuing your own productivity. And I think a lot of us, we don't even put a price tag on our labor at first because we don't know any better, right? We don't know any better. We don't know what that's supposed to cost. So we have no frame of reference. So then we go to Etsy and we look at these Etsy listings, and this shirt's $35. So my shirt I'm going to make for $25 because I want to outsell them, not knowing that their shirt still costs the same amount of money as you, but Etsy is taking more money from them than you would make in your revenue stream. So I think that just that piece of the puzzle and the education portion, we are really hyper focused on making sure that these cutters also can be an addition to your business. Doesn't always have to be a one-to-one replacement. We love for that to happen, right? That makes me feel really good when people are like, hey, I'm ditching my old machine and I'm going to yours. However, we want to make sure that there's a value for people to even have it in the first place. Because we didn't create this to be a paperweight. We created this to be a elevator of your business and your production. So
period. It seemed like y'all did a great job with that, man.
Appreciate it.
Let me ask this. So with the software, are you able to actually design in Leonardo from scratch and exporting? Can you export like PNGs or JPEGs or anything like that?
Great question. So currently right now, Leonardo Design Studio, I would tell you, in my honest opinion, that it's a hybrid design software. And what I mean by that is some of the tools and features that we want in the software that make it that true design software. Because again, that means so many different things to so many different people, right? Of what an actual design software is for them. But with that, if we're talking in relevance of like a Corel Draw and Adobe Illustrator, that will come with time. But, I gave this fact the other day and I thought it was a really, it made a lot of sense to me when I was having a conversation with somebody that was talking about the progression of our software. And I said, Cricut's been around since the early 2000s. Cameo's been around since the mid 2000s, so mid to us. Leonardo Design Studio has been out for a year this coming September. So for us, we've already made really great strides, but there's a lot more improvements to making a true design software. Now, as a graphic designer, there are things that we made sure we had in the basic software early on so that we could make it feel as if you could still design in the software. So if you have like a Wacom tab, like a drawing tab, and or if you have a MacBook or like a Apple computer and then an iPad, you can sidecar your iPad and actually physically draw in software. So you can create different layers and full designs. However, you have the ability to bring in elements. So as of right now, Leonardo can bring in an SVG for vectored art, as well as JPEG, and then a PNG for any type of like print and cut. With that in mind, we can save as a local LDS file, which is our Leonardo Design Studio file, locally to your computer, so you can take them on the go. However, in the next couple of phases, next couple of updates, we'll be opening up that platform, not only to more file types that we can download and we can actually extract and create from, but there will be an exporting feature as well. Because at the end of the day, you know, there's companies out there that said creation should be free, and then creation all of a sudden wasn't free anymore.
Right.
And I think that's why they get a lot of pushback for even the updates of, you know, 10 years later, finally coming out with a bigger print and cut size. Like, it's a little too late for that. So I think and again, there's a cult following there too. So that's okay. That's fine for me. But I also think that we wanted to create something that was different, you know, and something that truly was going to grow with people. And so for folks that want to try Leonardo, that's why we even opened it up for free. You know, you don't need a cutter to use the software. If you head over to caesarna.com, SISERNA.com, and then there's a tab on there that's the cutter tab. And then on that tab says Leonardo Design Studio. There's a link halfway down the page that you can set up an account, register an account, and then you can also start playing with the software and using the software. And then once you get your cutter, you'll be able to start cutting your designs, you know, right from there. So
I'm gonna actually go check that out.
Yeah, head over there. And there's a ton of information too on our website, caesarna.com, on the cutters. That's also a great resource for anybody that needs vinyl help. Thank you, for putting that in there. That needs vinyl help. There's a ton of resources. Every page of materials is broken down by application instructions, what type of garments you can apply. That CPSIA compliance is going to be there, the laser-friendly tag. All of those things are available to you right there on the website. So, and then also, just to get to meet the crew, you can go to the About section and see all of our company photos, you know, and see who you're going to meet at a show and who does what in the company. And it's very, very interesting because this is done by design, I think, in two ways. But like the leader of our company at Caesar NA is at the very bottom of the list on the website. And I think that's something that, you know, for him, it's very important. You know, partially it's I think part of it's alphabetical for the record, but also partially that's a very much a representation of how we treat our company. Everybody's linear. Everybody's on the same playing field. Anybody can come in and ask a question. Anybody can come in and offer up advice or suggestions, you know, on anything. So and see if she's ready for another piece of equipment.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you, Brandon, man, I'm thinking man,
especially with being quiet too. I've seen
this machine sounds amazing, though.
Yeah, guys, the quiet thing is a funny topic because it's not hard to make a machine quiet. It's just you have to know what you're looking for to make it quiet. And I think one thing that the other machines failed at is they didn't take in consideration the vibration of a machine and the vibration of the type of table in which you're going to put that machine on. So for us, the reason why we put the main motherboard on the bottom is because we want it to be heavily weighted, the center of gravity at the bottom. Reason we only have 4 points of contact instead of an entire flat board sitting on pegs was the fact that, you know, we could put those rubber stoppers that were a little bit longer. So when it was on the table, there's a lot more vibration absorption, and then there's less machine to vibrate because remember, we cut out part of the head so the head could go, or the machine head could go actually into the machine. Right. So those are those are just things that I think people want, you know, but they don't necessarily know they want them until they see it in person, you know, because again, it's a cutter. It does exactly what you want. It cuts vinyl, it cuts PSV, it cuts, you know, like smaller, like thinner wood, it cuts paper craft, it cuts everything that you want it to cut. The only problem is that most people, you know, they didn't realize how noisy their machine was until we came around. Right. That's the big learning curve, I think, for most people.
My wife noticed as soon as we went to the show. She was like, "You need to get that." Speaking of my wife, she was wondering if you guys would have something the size of the Cricket Joy, because you covered everything from 12 all the way to 24, 26. I'm not sure how big.
So here's the best part. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a little insight on something we specifically did for the Romeo. So typically on commercial cutter, you have a bottom grit roller, right? So you have pinch wheels. Those pinch wheels sit on a grit roller, and that causes the friction that allows the machine to push the material back and forth. Mm-hmm. On our Romeo, we specifically milled out that bottom grit roller at it's basically a 3-inch bar or 2 or 3 inch bar at the beginning, but it's at 0, 3, 5, 7, 12, 15, 20, and 24. So those are all the measurement increments that grit roller goes onto. The benefit to the Romeo is that those pinch wheels can snap right together, and they can fit a piece of material that's like 2.5 inches wide. So you don't need a Cricket Joy if you have a Romeo, right? If you have a Juliet, the same thing applies. Those pinch wheels can run on one roller so that you can actually accommodate anywhere up from like 3 inches all the way up to that 25.5 inch cutting space. So those are, again, some of the things that we implemented that caused us not even to realize like the kind of gold mine that we're sitting on, where people can be super creative and can be very customized and precise at what they're doing. There was actually a guy in Australia in one of the groups. He had a piece, or our test cut on there is like a 1 inch by an inch. It's just a little t-shirt with a circle in it. And he used like a 2-inch piece of material, put it under one pinch wheel and did a test cut, and it cut out perfect just using one pinch wheel. So, you know, those kind of things those are fun to see. You know, those are things we didn't even think about at first, but somebody found the value in it and how it can benefit them. So those are really, really cool moments that you get every once in a while.
I think that, like, it is definitely the fact that you guys were actual vinyl cutter users. You guys really utilized that.
Yeah.
And have came up with something, a game changer.
Yeah.
As time progresses, it's gonna make everybody step their machines up. I think you guys might have changed the face of the vinyl cutter.
Well, I will say this. I'll give you this. We're not stopping there. How about that?
Period.
Colors? What about colors? Can we get a black one?
Colors, I can tell you that I can confirm is probably going to be in the future for sure. But there's some stuff I can't say, but we're not just stopping where we're at right now. So yes, we'll be around. We'll definitely be around the bend, and we're excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So vinyl, man. Like, what kind of new vinyl can we expect? Does Caesar doesn't have a puff, right?
We do.
I haven't ever seen Caesar puff.
Yeah, we actually do have a puff. Yep. You got your you go through Heat Transfer Warehouse, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They have our puff too.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I've never seen it.
Yeah. We have our puff. So we just launched puff a few months back. It was just something that we knew in the industry that everybody was asking us about. You know, being a manufacturer, I think everybody, you know, that's the part that's really cool about our value as a company. People value the quality. And so they know that when we put our name on something, that there's quality behind it. So everybody was asking us for it for a very long time. You know, so for me in particular, he said, I can see you tonight. You can't put those kind of comments up there, man, because it throws me off.
You having technical difficulties over there, man.
That's funny. He's got money. He's just waving by the microphone. Shh, sorry, I'm going in and out.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So that's how you guys know, the audience out there that watches. That's how you know it's a wrap on the show, is when Mike starts doing that.
Yeah, man.
He's giving me the light, saying we got to get down. We got to get off. They ain't paying for StreamYard Premium here. Come on, no, I'm just kidding. So, anyways, you know, for us, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, for us, I think that it was just it was super important to us to be able to offer that same quality. So we took a little bit of time with it. That was a newer product we have. Obviously, the Easy Color DTV. We just did the launch video for that of the bigger sizes of DTV. So we have 11 by 16.5 sizes and then 20-inch rolls, which we're really excited about. And then pretty soon here we'll have our Aurora. I don't know if you're familiar with the Aurora at all.
No.
So the Aurora is like an iridescent fabric like material. I'll send you some sample material of it.
Right on.
They have it. But yeah, the Aurora is just make sure I have Mike, will you just make sure that I have both of your guys' addresses, and I'll send you some. But yeah, so we have that in a printable now. So with EcoSolvent, solvent, and I think latex, we deem that one as well. So that's a new one that we have out. Avery Dennison, you know, they've been a great additive to our business. Our new Easy PSV that we have. We had Easy PSV before, but now it is our Easy PSV Starling. Which is our collaboration product with Avery Dennison. So we're really excited to get them involved on that product line. I want to say we have 50 plus colors. Huh?
I have a bunch of that Easy PSV.
Do you have the old stuff or the new Starling, the new stuff?
The older stuff.
Okay, gotcha. All gloss. It should be all gloss finish.
Yeah.
So now we have 50 plus colors, all permanent vinyl, dishwasher safe, and they're all coming in matte finish. And then we have all of our core colors: white, black, red, green. Those ones you can get in a gloss finish as well as a matte finish. So now we have that. We'll soon hopefully have glitter, from that line as well. And some other products that we're looking at launching. I'm trying to think. We have a new color of Easy Weed that'll come out here pretty soon. We got some really cool products that I'm actually starting to shoot content on, and I'll give you guys a little lowdown just because it's kind of cool. We'll have it looks like etched metal. So it's like a chrome, PSV. So we'll have gold and silver. It's like a brush metal look.
That's dope.
So that'll be pretty cool. I like that product. I think it looks awesome. When we got our samples, like our sample rolls into the US, I think we were all really excited about it because it's just something different. It's something different. But Twinkle's doing really well. That was a good one. Our biggest seller right now, honestly, is that puff. Everybody wanted it. I'm noticing too, one of my colleagues and I who runs our retail division, Dave Wheatley, who's also one of the developers on the Cutter project too. Him and I went to Vegas a couple months back for the Magic Fashion Show. So they had like a sourcing event, the actual fashion event, and then they had a like what's coming and all the new trends of the season event. And that was a really interesting, event to go to because I realized that, rhinestones, bedazzling is back. A lot of people are really into the puff. And then I'm trying to think of the name of it. I always say it looks like carpet letters on your shirt. I'm trying to think of, no, not flock, different method. It's like actual stitched. Starts with a C. What's it called? I can't remember. Anyways, it's another decorating method that was like from the 80s and 90s, that are really kind of coming back again. So, we got a chance to see it. You know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah, you got me thinking, I do.
Yeah. I can't remember. Somebody in the comments will know what it is. Chanel. Yeah. Chanel. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yes. Chanel. So that's coming back too, so we noticed that the puff was coming back, obviously the brick and stretch, the fake and boss look is kind of timeless for us. Everybody likes to see it at a show and at an event. But yeah.
So y'all are coming with some Chanel, huh?
No. I was talking about some of the things that I was interested in seeing.
At the
show that are kind of making their way back because for us, we used our silver holographic all the time, and just using a standard rhinestone template, you can essentially make fake rhinestones out of that holographic, and it's flat on the shirt. They don't fall off. There's no abrasion, so you don't have to worry about what you're putting it on. But we kind of went away with that even in our show samples because we noticed that was kind of going away and now it's making its way back. So pretty cool. But yeah.
What do you say, Mike?
This comment section. Third Day Tees, what's going on? T. Lamont, how you doing? Thanks everybody for joining. We're speaking with
graphics.
Vinyl Graphics. What's going on, everybody? I know it's been a while since we did a live. I mean, we actually just started last week, and we're going to be doing these every week, and we appreciate everybody coming to these lives and asking questions.
So, I'm sorry. I was just about to speak on that. Yeah, we're back. It's been a minute, and we're back doing live shows, man. And you see, as we see, man, we bring out dope people, man. Answer all your questions. So. Tap in, man. We know y'all got some questions out there. This man is Caesar. So if y'all got any of the questions for Caesar North America, man, y'all ask these questions while you got them right here in your face.
For sure. And I didn't tell you guys this up front, but I'm really, really happy. Really happy you guys are back too. I think you understand how much value there is in doing this regularly. How much value it is to the industry and to yourselves as educators and folks in the industry that are public figures too. These things to the people out there, are really, really important, and the consistency in that's really important. So I'm glad to see you guys back too.
What's crazy that you say this is right. Like we just aired last week for the first time in a minute, and just the feedback and
Mm-hmm.
the love we've got for being back. I knew the effect we had on the industry, on the people, but I didn't understand it until this past week to see how many people actually missed the show.
Well, I can tell you, as a listener, and as a watcher, I can tell you what I value about it. And, I'm probably speaking for a lot of the audience, but you guys are, where your limited knowledge is, but you're curious about how to elevate that. And I think a lot of people out there are asking the same questions you're asking and not getting the same result because they're not put in these positions where they can publicly, have a conversation with Caesar one day and then Supercolor the next day and then, Alex Andover the next day and whoever it may be. Right. And I think that's a really exciting way to be, is when you're just, curious. Your curiosity goes further than what you care to the fame or success or anything to be of. You just want to be impactful, and that's what's important. I think that's a huge value that you guys bring. And probably people can comment in on things that they see as well. It's just one of those. I noticed it, because you ask even when you don't know the answer, and you're curious about it and you want to know. So I think that's awesome to be. Mike, on the other hand,
everybody gets me. It's okay.
Yeah. It's funny though because Mike and I, we met. Where did we meet? Did we meet in Indy for the first time, Mike? I can't remember what. It was a DAX show for sure, or a GPX show, one of the two. But we had met there just briefly, came to the booth, hung out, talked for a minute, said, hey, oh no, it was Long Beach, maybe. Maybe it was Long Beach because we had a really small booth at Long Beach that year, but came to the booth, hung out for a quick minute. I think you brought your wife with you, if I wasn't mistaken.
Atlantic City the first time, 2021.
Yeah. So came to the booth, we talked a little bit, we hung out just to chat, and then we didn't see each other until the Made Lab event, that was a few months after that. And that was the second time that we had to, we had an opportunity to meet. And I'm pretty sure that I bombarded you every time you were on a live. Pretty sure I would jump over your shoulder and look at your live or try to get into your live every once in a while. And it was just one of those things. Is naturally that I think that relationship kind of grew into a friendship, where we could be fun and playful.
That's important.
What was that question that popped up? I didn't want to miss it. I saw substrate something.
Where did it go?
Right here, T. Lamont. Oh, you smacked it off.
What's the top seller substrate for sublimation on dark garments?
Sublimation on dark garments. Are you talking about a material that you can use to sublimate onto to put on dark garments, or are you talking about being able to actually sublimate on a dark garment?
This is what he's talking about right here.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's called. Listen. It's called DTV, dude. You need to get yourself some DTV. I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, I think per page, you're at your total cost or total buy-in is at $1.40 or $1.70, something really small to add into the production of your business. So if you are using it, DTV is super, super thin, really airy, and you can apply it to light, dark, doesn't matter. Yeah.
DTV, I see it's a good product, man.
Yeah.
You guys got to try it. If you haven't tried it, go get you some.
Third Day T says, what I love about you guys, the honesty behind the show. It's not about self-promotion and putting yourselves on the back, patting yourselves on the back, man, period, man. And
exactly it.
And all that stems from we love what we do.
Yeah.
We love being a voice for people. Because you look at this game, man, a lot of us are voiceless because, man, I'm in my house. I got a heat press right here. If I don't leave my house or leave my, go to these shows, I'm never going to be able to talk to these Patricks or like you mentioned, Alex Hanover. That's DIY Alex for those that don't know. And shout out to her. She's pregnant, having a new baby.
Oh, very cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah, she was that was a great interview.
For the name, Patrick or Patricia. Either way we go. I'm fine with that.
Patricia, that was my mother's name.
See, there we go. See? Patrick or Patricia, either one.
Yeah,
I love the name either way. Yeah.
But I think, man, we do this out of love, man. And you guys notice, today we got Patrick from Caesar, and we sat down with Silky Socks and all these big people.
Yeah, that was a great interview.
Yeah, but we don't just stick with big people.
Somebody sitting in a bedroom. You know what I mean? So it's not. We don't discriminate on who we bring on, and we try to touch every aspect of this industry, and because there's no big me's and no little U's over here is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Appreciate y'all, man. Everybody for tapping in. Appreciate y'all for loving what we do and watching what we do, supporting what we do.
Well, and listen, whether you're coming from the TikTok side or you're on YouTube or wherever, it's like the biggest value that you could have. Always learn to never roll my eyes. I like that. Listen, the biggest compliment that the audience could do right now, if you're not already, is go and follow. Make sure that you're following on all social platforms.
Yeah, man.
Make sure that you're also not just following. Listen, you know how many times I see Mike. He views one of my stories and never puts a heart, nothing, not even a thumbs up. What? I don't even get a that's dope. I get nothing from him. Don't be like Mike is what I'm saying. I actually say that because but I say that because he's actually overly supportive sometimes, which is awesome because I love it. But
that's what you do, man. That's Mike, man.
But that's the best compliment you guys can do listening around is sharing the love and sharing these stories that are posted out there on IG. Share the posts. Share some of these events after this video. Go share it on your own personal page. Share it in a group that you're a part of. The idea is to get the attention, because if more people can find this and more people can see the value in these, it just is going to elevate these two guys, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well put.
Where's the next shows you got? You said you have one coming up tomorrow that you're going to, but what's the forecast?
I'm in Grand Rapids. Michigan right now. We have the One Stop Expo tomorrow, so I'm teaching 2 seminars at that one, how to profit with HTV and PSV, and then after that show tomorrow, I'm driving tomorrow night from Grand Rapids down to Tinley Park, which is just outside of Chicago, to go to the DAX Tinley Park Expo. If you guys are in or around the Chicago or greater Chicago area, definitely is a great opportunity to get into the expo.
Yeah.
Actually, what I'll probably do, if you guys want to, I can send you my registration link as well. If you guys want to drop that somewhere in the episode, or drop that down in the comments, and anybody that wants to go and wants to come in, there'll be a free registration link. So feel free to utilize that and come to the show. Come see me. We'll have some presence there. We'll be in GSG's booth. Maybe Mike or Seak, if one of you guys wouldn't mind pulling up the DAX website just so we can give accurate info. But we'll have our own Caesar booth. We'll also be supporting our friends at Colorcraft and Sign Outlet. We'll also be in the GSG booth, as well as one other newer partner of ours will be in their booth. So I'll be all over the place. You guys can find me there. Come take pictures. Come hang out. Come watch demonstrations. We'll have a great crew of people going.
And what's the website?
It should be Decorated Apparel Expo 2023, and it'll take you somewhere on there. I can probably even pull it up too, really quick. Let's see, Dex. Yeah, it's somewhere in my thing. Anyway, Tinley Park. Here we go.
What's going on, everybody, man? Appreciate y'all for joining, man. Y'all share that out for me. Hit that share button. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, comment, all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We do all it for you.
So here is all of the spaces we'll be at the Decorated Apparel Expo that's coming up this Thursday through Saturday. I think it's actually a Friday, Saturday show, but I'll be there on Thursday and Wednesday too. But so we'll be in booth 403, which is Colorcraft. We'll be in booth 215, which is GSG. We will also be in our own booth, which is booth 401. And then we will also be in, where are they at? Looking really quick. I thought there was one more in here that I missed somewhere. 302. So all of those booths will be in for the show.
Right on.
Yes, we'll be kind of everywhere.
So what can they expect, though? As far as the humanness that you guys provide, what else can people expect when they come see y'all at the show?
A lot of entertainment. We like to have fun in the booth, so don't come to the booth if you don't like having fun. If you don't like, If you don't like meeting personalities, because everybody in our company is a personality and we all like to kind of shine in our own ways. So whether it's from, the multimedia side, which is my side, or it's from the graphic design side, which is Andrew's side, or marketing or wherever, we like to pull you into the booth and have fun. So you usually, if we're at ISA, also another just quick plug, ISA, International Sign Association, that's going on right now in Vegas. We have a booth there where you can actually take pictures and see DTV being utilized live. So snap a photo, make a bag for you at the show. We'll have that station up. But, when we're in a show environment, it's really about, we never came to sell. We don't sell direct. For people out there that don't know, Caesar does not sell direct to the end user. We sell only through distribution. And the reason why we sell only through distribution in a lot of cases, and we don't like to sell direct to the public, is the fact that we can take more time to educate and train the product as opposed to just saying, hey, I want you to buy my product. I think a lot of people buy our product because they see something that they really, really like. They see something of value for them and in their business. And we like to kind of hone in on those things. So we also don't waste your time. When we're in the booth, we want to know what it is that you want to know, and we want to be able to teach it to you. So we also don't like wasting people's time. We're never going to show you a process of something that you are just not ready for or that you feel like you can't accomplish, And also, there's some things that people can accomplish that they don't believe in themselves. So that's also another place. It's really like this perfect baptism by fire type situation in our booth, I think, a lot of times, right. So for sure.
See, that's cool, man. The like I say, there's no big me's and no little U's.
Yeah.
That's the that's a great thing, man, that people get to see, even though your companies or whatever, you still get to see the human side of these companies, people who work there.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure.
Kay Mason said, I plan on going Thursday.
Nice.
So, Caesar brick.
Yeah.
I've used that. I need to start using a lot more of it. But what are some, I'm going to ask you just because you worked, give me some ideas for using Caesar brick.
Okay. Brick is a great tone-on-tone product. A great tone-on-tone product, not only for shirts, if you're doing a left arm or right arm, doing a small tag on the chest. Again, it's a heavier product, so it's not something that you want to put a big, bulky image on. It's really great with the embossed method. So if you ever go to a trade show, ask somebody to show you the brick and stretch embossed, or show you the brick trick is what we call it sometimes, because it does show really well on the garment. The cool part about brick is that it's a non-layerable product. So when you add the stretch on top, it becomes layerable. So one thing that I've done is actually, I can't say I've done it. Actually, Steve in the office, who's one of our A&D guys, is the one that presented it to me at first, was doing brick, then stretch, and then using a crazy color like an electric or a holographic contour to really accentuate that depth of that. And the other part of that is I like doing hats are the big thing for me. So anytime I'm at a show, always have a hat on, always have some kind of design. That's just my thing. So brick shows really, really well on a hat, bags, shoes, bandanas, anything. I mean, really, it's like a universal product. It just depends on, where your creativity goes, right? I think a lot of times people like to take a product and they say, okay, well, where's the absolute limit that this product can go? And let me push it one step past that. Yeah. It's like, well, that's not the intention. You can get a really good, solid, premium quality out of a product if you take a little time, patience, and understanding of what that product can do and what that product can look like on a garment, or look like on a hat. Perfect example, the subtlety of just putting Romeo and Juliet on a hoodie. Yes, to the outside world, this is a cheap item, but this is something that with a brand name attached to it or a trademark attached to it, it becomes a premium product very quickly. So those are things that you, I guess in my opinion, those are just things that that you can expect to see at a show. You can expect some things for us to teach, but also some great qualities of brick as well.
So you just gave me an idea because I have some brick and I have some electric. I can see how that would be nice combination.
Yeah. Whatever that bottom layer is that you're using, whatever that bottom layer is that you're using, cut that contour out again in an embellishment color. That same exact contour, so the final press you're pressing over the actual design you just did. That offers a great opportunity for you to do with the, use a brick and make it more of a premium look. But tone on tone with brick is awesome. A black hat with black brick, dude, it looks smooth. I like the way it looks. Yeah.
I got a bunch of hats right here. Now you got my mom, my brain, my wheels spinning.
Oh, yeah. I'm too quiet on you. Gears is turning.
Yeah, man. Well, so what else can we expect, man? Just moving forward from Caesar.
Well, I think what we're getting into right now is we're getting back to our roots of educating and training, and I think a lot of that comes with collaboration. So there's a lot of collaborations that are kind of planned in the future. There's a lot of things that are coming up in the very near future. Like I'll be at Wallapalooza this year in Fargo. I'm doing a class in Texas at the Made Lab with Jennifer Sanderson and her crew and Ryanette. And Ryan's team, we're really just going back to our roots of collaborating and teaching again. Because I think that's where a lot of vinyl companies kind of lost their way. We all went to multimedia. Yeah, that's where I'm telling you, brick and flock are the exact same product. If you have brick, any design you can do in brick, put it in flock, it looks super, super clean too. But anyways, I think that we just need to go back to in people's face marketing as well. And that's a lot of that's doing seminars, classes. You will see sponsored classes all over the place from us. Things like the Start Here Academy, we're going to get into more. And then just things like this, podcasting, getting to know the people around the company and getting to know the faces and the voices behind Caesar is really what to expect. And then on top of that, the software will evolve into the premium side of the software and continue to evolve into the basic side of the software as well. And just continuing to try to offer solutions to people is really what our big mission is this year, and offering valuable solutions. Because again, with every other decorating method out there, vinyl is much like screen print have been too, that everybody has always gone back to. They try out a new technology or try out something new, that fad dies, they come back to wanting to get into vinyl again and utilizing it. The problem is that if we don't do it enough, then we kind of lose. It's not like riding a bike all the time. We kind of lose some of that, how to, and that can be tough too. What do we got? Can you layer your puff vinyl? Top layer only. So if you have like an easy weed that you want to do like a contour offset. So right now, a lot of people are doing like an easy weed, doing a small offset contour and like a tungsten. And then on like, say, a black hoodie, they'll do like tungsten electric HTV, and then they'll do the puff on top of the HTV. So you'll get this really cool electric outline, but then you get the puff of that puff product.
See, man, you give me
Listen, I can float you a laundry list of ideas.
You definitely give me some. My head is spinning, my wheels are spinning.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been designing a t-shirt a day since the 1st of January.
Nice.
101 days in today, so you giving me some new ideas, man.
How many days?
101.
101 straight days?
101 straight days, but I've actually dropped 108 designs since January 1st of this year.
Nice.
It's hard as hell, but I'm doing it.
That's all right, though.
I do it.
That's all right. That's that's the definition on your shirt is exactly what you described. Hustle.
Yeah, man, I'm trying.
Yeah, y'all visit 12 Gone Apparel. Go ahead and shop 12 Gone Apparel. Go look at some of those chasing, capture your dreams, how he offset and like splice some of them words to make it just pop off the shirt. I mean, every design you could tell there's a story behind it. And I want him to get on camera and tell the story behind it. Now, I'll put you on the camera. Yeah, you. Yeah.
Nice. Snitch, little eat point fingers and stuff. Terry, what's going on? Thank you. I'm trying to go. Y'all know I only got one leg, man. I'm getting there though. Peg leg Peter on my way up to the top. You know.
You got it.
Mike, what kind of questions you got? You got something up there, man. I keep seeing you want to talk.
Yeah, just basically, with the shows and the rigorous schedule with this line, like that time for you
mm-hmm.
and the family. This is something that goes beyond what we do.
Yeah.
For those out there that may be struggling, can you give them a little bit of words of advice?
Yeah, just simple enough. Keep moving, right? Like you can't get stale for too long. You can't get stagnant. You know, Seak has one of the greatest excuses in the world to just stop, to just not do this anymore, to not even try anymore, right? But when you just keep going and you push through that adversity. Now, for me, I'm very lucky and I'm very blessed. I have a wife that understands what I do and understands my travel schedule. And again, I will say with my new role at Caesar, you know, from the last time we were on this podcast, my travel schedule has gotten a little bit lighter than last year for sure. But she also gets, you know, some of these longer weeks that it just she's the one that actually told me I was going to come from, now just to keep this in mind, Detroit to Grand Rapids and still out working people. Yeah, there you go. Man. See, it's it. But so from my house, from Detroit area to Grand Rapids is about 2.5 hours. So for me, in my head, I was like, okay, here's how I'm going to make this week work. I'm going to come in on, what's today, Tuesday? Come in on Tuesday. I'll leave on Wednesday. I'll go back home. I'll be able to stay the night at my house one night to be with my wife and kids, and then I'll go down to Chicago. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense because by the time you get home anyways, you're too tired to hang out with us. So go from one show to the next, just be gone for the 4 or 5 days that you need to be gone, and then come home, and now we have the whole weekend and we have more time. So she's very good at balancing me out because I actually am the one that, not to say that I don't like travel. I love traveling and I love what I do. But, you know, I was telling Andrew about this, today we were talking about it and I was like, you know, sitting in a hotel room, like I'm doing a podcast against, you know, a crappy framed fixture in a hotel room. Right. But like for me, you know, sitting in a hotel room, sometimes these can get lonely on the road. These can get boring on the road. You got to figure out things that you can do. And when you don't have a lot of people around, you don't have friends and family who you can call on when you're in town, sometimes you're left to your own devices and figuring stuff out. So when you get into those moments, one of the best things that I've always found is take a step back, take a deep breath, go take a shower, a hot shower, go for a walk, you know, whatever you need to do to keep yourself calm, and realize that, you know, you got to the point that you are, you know, for a reason. And if you didn't care, you know, I think people attribute, there's a very fine line, I think, between like anxiety and excitement. I think when people, and it's funny because Andrew had actually told me this in the car on the way here. I'm trying to say this exactly how he said it too, is that, damn, how did you say that to me? You were telling you in the car, we were talking about moving forward or continuously progressing. And you had made a comment about work ethic in that. Nevertheless, it was a really good comment, and it's escaping me right now, and it'll come back literally as soon as we stop the podcast. I get it, right? But you know, your work ethic. Oh, that's what it was. Is that when you know, sometimes we take our frustration as that's our time to stop, and you don't. You know, simply what he said is that if you're frustrated, that means that you care. That means you care enough. And if once you find yourself not happy and not getting frustrated with yourself anymore and having days where you're like, you know what, I'm just not into it today. It doesn't give me happiness. It doesn't give me aggression. It doesn't give me any feeling at all. Then yeah, that's the time to maybe hang it up or maybe go to the next method. Right. And that's maybe when DTF is your thing or sublimation becomes your thing. And maybe the one thing that you're doing in this segment of the business doesn't make sense for you right now. But when you are in those moments of like disbelief and pissed off and the sales aren't coming, those are the times where you realize you actually care about what you're doing. Right. And when you care about what you're doing enough, you know, that stuff comes, you know, like for me, I worked in this company for, you know, 3 years now, you know, going into my 4th year at Caesar. And it was like, I didn't really find my stride or find what I was really, truly comfortable with until probably year 2.5. And really, it was the Cutter project that started that train of, oh, I'm important here, you know. And then everybody else told me that I was still important with the company didn't have that stance. It was in my head, right? We get imposter syndrome because we think, we get imposter syndrome because we think, oh, well, there's Nike and there's Adidas and there's Stephen Barry's, which I don't even think that's a thing anymore. But you know, there's all these different companies, and you don't realize like these are being endorsed by people that are professionals in an industry that are doing it as just pure influencership, right? That doesn't mean that they necessarily believe in a product. And I think sometimes when we're creating, our belief system goes deeper than just what we're making. It's a belief in how we create. It's a belief in how we design. It's a belief in what we utilize those designs, whether it's revenue that you're making from it, doing a charitable thing. However, those feelings that you're getting of accomplishment along the way, that's the reason you continue to go forward. It's not because you felt like, oh, well, it sucks for me now and it didn't happen for me now. It's not meant to happen for you right now. It's meant to happen for you when it's meant to happen for you. And if you keep grinding and you keep going, you get to a point where a light bulb flips and either you realize, oh, I'm doing this the wrong way and it's not working for me in particular, or the other side of that coin is you realize I am doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just telling myself the imposter syndrome in my head is talking and saying, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be successful. I'm not supposed to sell shirts or do, freelance work or do whatever. And I just think that that's all in my head. That's all kind of bullshit. I don't agree with it. I think that if you're a hustler, then you're a hustler. If you're a creator, you're a creator. If you're a maker, you're a maker. And if you're an entrepreneur, that's set in your mind from an early age. That's not something that like one day you end up 30 and you say, okay, I'm going to start making money doing this. That's something that you always had that in the back of your mind. It's always been a piece of the cogwheel. You just finally dusted the cobwebs off of it and got that thing turning. And now once you oil it up and you give it a little bit of time, energy, effort, and the most important part about it is patience. Once that engine starts revving, you can't get it to stop. So that would be my biggest piece of advice is just every day that you feel like giving up, go one more day. If every day that you feel like you're not doing enough, go one more day and just reassess the last day. Get a calendar. Mark off those days that you're like, hey, I think I didn't do a lot, but oh my God, in my head, I actually got 15, 20 things on my to-do list or even 5 things on my to-do list done. That's because you just go one more day. One singular day at a time is how you're successful. That's it.
That was well put. Very well put.
Man.
I'm here to drop gems on the Squad Creative Podcast.
You just dumped off a whole bag full. Hey, Alex,
perfect example.
Alex, you in the back like Home Improvement. What was the guy that was behind the fence?
Al Borland.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, Seak. Do me a favor, Seak. Put Dawn's comment back up really quick if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So this to the audience, I just want to make sure, Dawn, first of all, thank you. I appreciate that. I work on it a lot and making things sound good. But with this is the most important statement of this. I have not had a boss in 20 years. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you? That means that through 20 years, there's been a lot of pain, struggle, days that she didn't want to keep going and trying in her business, days that she felt like she wasn't good enough, days that somebody might be out competing her and have better marketing, have a better product, have a better price, whatever it is. But through that day by day method and just continuing, because through that same process, this is the benefit of it. In that same 20-year period where all that bad stuff happened to Dawn, right? She also found herself as a human being. She made revenue for herself, which gave her purpose. She started a business and was able to do something that maybe when she was younger, and Dawn, I don't know you, but maybe when Dawn was younger, maybe she didn't think or believe in herself. Maybe she was introverted and now she's super extroverted. Those are all those really important facets, I think, that we can learn from each other. And that's why things like the Caesar North America support page and stuff like that, and then your guys' groups and things, why they're so important to have like-minded creatives all in one place is because of the fact that you are going to have those days that it doesn't make sense, or you're going to have those days that piss you off. You're going to have those days where every shirt you've pressed that day has failed or something's going to happen. But the problem is you have to realize that through that trial and tribulation, there's a lot of positive things that come out of that. And what comes out of that is purpose and meaning in life. And I'm hoping, Dawn, that that's your case based on your comment. I'm going to assume that, because 20 years to spend, I mean, that's something to be applauded for sure by the general population too, and in our industry of even being able to last that long in a business. For sure.
He said, man, I need to hear this. I'm at work ready to walk out.
Listen, that's another thing too. Well, I'm not going to get you all trying to leave your job and stuff. Never mind. I'm not going to get too motivational. You come see me at a show and we'll talk. We'll have dinner and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Don said absolutely.
I'm with you, Don.
Facts.
You know, with you coming through and speaking this, like we had said earlier, to the people that's out there and everybody that's out there, Patrick is like a brother. We are all family. So when you build these relationships with people and you keep that open and you keep that clear and then you talk with them, be ready to have feedback that may come back to you that you don't want to hear. A lot of times people are scared or like me and Seak go back and forth a lot like brothers. You would have thought we came out the same room. Like if we ain't on here on live, the way we talk, we'll have y'all laughing. I mean, we've stopped and started laughing like, man, what did you just say? But the whole moral of that, the whole reason for me even saying that is this is like a family to us. And, you know, it means a lot to have you guys come on and tap in with us.
Yeah.
And to be, you know, able to speak with people like Patrick. Or
for sure.
Non Creations or Elevated Apparel or Don DIY Flavor Shack, whoever it is.
Yeah, that's the most important part about this whole thing is that, you know, we can talk all we want, but if people aren't out there listening, you know, and they don't take and absorb that knowledge, sometimes, you know, that can get lost. They can get lost in the shuffle, and it's unfortunate for certain people because sometimes you need to hear it. You know, Dawn, I don't know anything about Dawn today, but something just in my head is telling me she needed to hear that today. You know, trip of business saying that I will, and do not. Yeah.
You got to keep yourself motivated.
Don, the thing about that is I don't like going live. Honestly, you know.
Listen, I'm on this because of you two right now. That's it. That's the only reason I'm on this video right now is because you two are here.
You know, the thing is, like, you gotta see. I don't do live. Miketees is a live dude. Like, I be on here, y'all feel I'm like a duck in water when I get on here, but like going live by myself. It don't happen too much as I'm live on TikTok as I'm saying this, but it's very seldom you'll see me go live because I don't know what to tell people. I don't know what to say, but I mean, it's one of the things. It's just you got to do it, because you'll find that when you go live, it's not always about you. The conversation is not always going to be about you talking about what you're doing. Life is going to play a part in that. Just every day, you know, you might get to talking about what you had for dinner that day, or whatever the case may be, you know. So just do it, you know. And also by doing that, it gives people to see you as a person. You know,
I agree with that.
We got any questions on TikTok, Seak?
We do.
Can't see all the comments in one space in one place.
I'm blind, though. I can't read my screen.
Listen, that hat that you have on right now, Seek, that hat that you have on right now, that white brick on the white part of that hat would look dope, dude.
Yeah, give it a 3D.
Or if you did, oh no, that's a 6-panel, right? Is there a seam in the middle of that?
Yep.
Okay. I was going to say another thing you could do too is you could always go tone on tone, but then break up the paint splatter into the brick. So the white on white for the brick and then the black on black for the brick, and just make the design kind of mesh in between all of the like splatter and stuff on there.
Oh, see?
I got ideas, man. Or even do it an off tone. So do black on the white and white on the black to make the logo really pop.
I got a red one of these and a blue one somewhere.
That's it. That's it, Don. But I will say this really quick because I know we want to wrap up soon. Don, I put my Instagram handle underneath my name. Feel free, anybody on there, to follow me on Instagram. Don, if you decide to go live for the first time, I promise you I will do a collab live with you. I'll be
all right, Don. You hear that? Go ahead, Don. Been following me for a while.
Yeah.
You
have a purpose. You're right. I needed that today. I have a big order in no time, so I will work all night, all night tonight. With that, so you pressing orders, I'm gonna tell you, just put it on live right there. Point your camera at you. You ain't even gotta talk. People gonna watch.
Yeah, throw that camera on while you're pressing and listen. Hey, play some music in the background. You go to town pressing and designing, and you just let people watch along, and then you pop in there every once in a while if somebody has a question.
Yeah,
I stalk my. All right. So now I got to put a picture in our booth at dawn to not let anybody go around our booth.
And see, one thing to another thing, like with this live, man, I see people sleep on TikTok all the time.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yep. They just be sleep with the camera on them, and people be watching.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But
I don't know if we want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go be knocked out.
That's funny.
So,
are you both? See, that's it. That's exactly how you do it. Just throw the camera on while you're working. Let people see you in your environment. That's it. That's all people care about anyway.
Yeah.
They want to see what kind of press are you using, what kind of materials are you using, what kind of shirts. Remember, we're business owners, so a part of us, there's a competitive nature that wants to know all of that information. You're using a Bella Canvas, using Gildan, you using Russell Athletics from Walmart because you had a quick trip you had to go, a Maker's Market from Michael's, whatever it is. You know, people want to see that type of thing because also, for people in their own business, that gives them a lot of peace of mind of knowing that they're also doing the right things. If they see more than one person, a populace of people that are all using the same kind of shirts and same kind of materials, it makes us feel valued too, that we're doing the right things when we are creating, you know?
Period.
So I don't know. Are you both in Fargo in July or what?
I'll be there.
If I want to go. Miketees is going to go. I have, shout out to Heat Transfer Warehouse, but I have preconceived notions about Fargo. So it makes me hard. It's hard for me.
You watched the movie or you watched the show?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Out there.
Hey, well, if you both end up in Fargo, let's do a live podcast from there with all three.
That sounds great.
Yeah. We'll all go live. We'll see if Kirk will let us steal the podcast room for that one too.
Definitely, that'll be dope.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll probably go out. Yeah, shout out to Brooke and Sasha over there.
Oh yeah,
and Kirk and BK and Bree and everybody else at Heat Transfer. They're great. They do a great job.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate you coming out and speaking with us tonight in the crowd and answering questions. This is not just the last time y'all gonna see him. The doors is always open here, you know. So if you ever want to introduce anything, man, let us know. We'll get you scheduled.
That works.
Everybody out there in the Squad Creative Podcast, we greatly appreciate you stopping through. Please stop by and visit IG Patrick Ali Official, or go to Caesar website and purchase some products. You know, you want to know about the Romeo that Juliet, he just explained it. If you want to know the true meaning of the name Caesar, it's at the beginning of this podcast. For all those in replay land, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe. And one last thing. This man, hold on, I gotta get my points right. This man over here been working on that hustle. Can you please show him that shirt again, sir? The 101 day challenge, or actually the 396 day. I don't know how long are you going with this? You going the whole year?
I'm going a year. Every day I'm quitting though. I tell myself, hustle, man. Your dreams don't require a pillow, man. I'm going 365 days, man. I'm going the whole 2023. This is the grind right now. This is what we're doing. And just for those that know, it's of course I need money, but it's not always about money. I'm teaching myself discipline. I'm teaching myself small goals to accomplish small goals. I'm teaching myself habits, positive habits to continuously work at my craft to try to better my craft. I'm motivating people to get up and move, because we never know what we can do. And I feel like every day I tell myself, man, I don't want to do this because it's hard as hell to come up with a design. A lot of the sayings that I use, my wife will come up with and I'll design it. But every day I'm like, man, I don't want to do this no more. And she's like, shut up. Here's this saying, put this on a t-shirt, design it, get it done. You know what I mean, basically. And just saying, I'm saying that to say this, like, oh, that's one of mine right there I did for his wife. It's a blessing when you're different.
I like that.
Glitter. That's Caesar.
That's dope.
That's Caesar.
I like it. Is that glitter?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't get it right. I can't get right now.
Okay, get right.
You know, so it's just a thing to keep grinding, man, motivating people, man, pushing people outside of their limit, man. And I've been through a lot in the last year and a half. I lost my leg unexpectedly in 2021, September 28, 2021, and been grinding ever since. So just trying to be a piece of motivation, a piece of inspiration. And I'm talking too much, so I'm going to end this off because I know people got to go. Again, Patrick, man, appreciate you. Thank you for coming out, man.
Thank you, guys.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Real gems. And I need y'all out there in TV land, man. Y'all like, share this, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. And we will see y'all next week.
Peace.